All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful idea, one that can totally change how you think about your ambitions. We're looking at a lesson that turns goals from just, another item on a to-do list into a real journey of self-discovery. Let's see how this works. So let's kick things off with a question that kind of flips the script on the whole idea of goal setting. We're often taught that goals are tasks, things we have to check off. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if a goal wasn't just something you do, but something that truly reflects who you are?
And that shift in thinking is really the heart of this personal goal journey. On one hand, you've got the old way of thinking. A goal is a chore. It's about pressure, grades, stuff you have to do. But on the other hand, it's reframed as an adventure. It's about discovery, passion, something that comes from inside you. It becomes a want to do instead of a must do. Huge difference.
Okay, so where do you even start a journey like this? Well, it begins not by looking out at the world, but by looking inward. The very first step is to find your own personal compass. And that compass, it's made of your core values. Now look, these aren't just, nice ideas. They are the fundamental beliefs that steer your big choices and your daily actions. Before you can even think about a destination, you have to know what's pointing you in the right direction. So to figure that out, students start with something just like this worksheet. They look at a whole list of values, things like kindness, courage, creativity, and they just circle the 5 that really speak to them. This isn't a test with right or wrong answers. It's about building that foundation for their whole journey. And this idea of a compass, it's just such a powerful metaphor, right? It frames your values as your personal true north. And when a goal is lined up with that compass, you've got this built-in motivation, which is absolutely crucial for when things get tough. All right, so you've got your compass. Now, it's time to take a look at what you're packing for the trip. It's time to identify the unique tools you're already carrying with you, your personal strengths. And I really want to be clear about this. This part isn't about being the best at something, not at all. A strength could be drawing, sure, but it could just as easily be that you're a great listener, or that you're super organized, or have a crazy imagination. It's about recognizing what you're good at, and maybe even more importantly, what you actually enjoy doing. Okay, this is where it gets really exciting. You've got your compass and you've got your toolkit. Now it's time to actually draw the map. This is the moment where all that self-discovery starts to turn into real, focused action. But hang on, before we do that, we need to clear something up that trips a lot of people up. Is there really any difference between a wish and a goal? And the answer is, oh yeah, a big one. Okay, check this out. The difference is huge. A wish is passive. It's just, I wish I were a better soccer player. A goal is active and it's specific. My goal is to practice dribbling for 15 minutes 3 times a week. See? A goal isn't just a daydream. It's a commitment that has a plan attached to it. So the whole process of building one of these active, meaningful goals, it breaks down into 3 super clear, connected steps. First, you start with what we've already done, your values and your strengths. Then you pick an area you want to grow in. And finally, you write the goal itself. And what I love about this part is how it gets students to think way beyond just school subjects. They can choose a goal in a creative area, a social one, a personal one. It really opens up the possibilities for what personal growth can even look like. And here is a perfect example of how this all clicks together. So the teacher's value is creativity, right? And their strength is perseverance. That all gets translated into this really specific, actionable goal. Write a 3-page comic book. And did you catch that? The goal even weaves in another value, kindness, right into the story. Brilliant. And this right here, this is the secret sauce. Answering the question, why does this even matter to me? That's what connects the goal right back to your core identity, to your values and strengths. That connection is the ultimate fuel for your motivation. All right, so we've got our destination, we've got our map, but any good traveler knows that a map is only half the battle. You have to understand the route, and that means preparing for some of the challenges you might run into along the way. And this is where we circle back to something we talked about earlier. Remember identifying those personal strengths? This is where they become absolutely essential. You got to think of them as the specific tools in your toolkit that you can pull out to handle any challenge that comes your way. A huge goal can feel, well, huge. It can be overwhelming. So the key is to break it down into baby steps. This worksheet helps students list out 3 concrete actions they're going to take. All of a sudden, write a comic book becomes step 1, brainstorm my character.
It feels so much more achievable. But here's the thing, smart planning doesn't just focus on the good stuff. It also encourages you to be real about the obstacles. What might get in your way? Thinking about this stuff ahead of time is a total pro move.
And this is a total game changer. It's such a powerful mindset shift. When you plan for obstacles, you're reframing what a challenge even is. Hitting a roadblock doesn't mean you failed. It's just a normal, expected part of the journey. It's an opportunity to pull out one of your tools, like perseverance, and actually get stronger. Okay, and for our final step, the journey wraps up with this incredibly powerful exercise that's all about keeping that fire lit from the very beginning all the way to the end. I love this analogy. It's perfect, right? You're basically creating a movie trailer in your head for your own future. You get to be the director of your own success story. So students are asked to actually close their eyes and really imagine what it will look like, and more importantly, what it will feel like when they've reached their goal. Then they draw a picture of it. This whole act of visualizing creates this deep, emotional connection to the outcome, which makes the whole journey feel worth it before you've even finished. So, you can see this whole process. It's not just some worksheet for a classroom, right? It's a blueprint for any of us who want to follow a path that feels more authentic and more meaningful. It's a reminder that the best goals aren't just things we do, they are expressions of who we are. So that leaves one question. What journey is your inner compass telling you to begin?